lose the likes of Lemieux and Lindros, teams have to make changes. Bill Clement, what we'll look for tonight, what are the changes going to be?
Well, really, for the Pittsburgh Penguins, it's kind of ho-hum. Here we are again without Mario Lemieux, and this team is used to playing without Mario Lemieux. But for the Philadelphia Flyers, they are not used to playing without Eric Lindros. They do have one big thing in their favor, though, and he wears number 17. His name is Rod Brind'Amour. 2 years ago, before Mark Recchi and Eric Lindros arrived, Rod Brind'Amour was the MVP. Last year, when Lindros was out, 23 games, Rod Brind'Amour scored 18 of his 37 goals during that stretch. So Rod Brind'Amour is a guy that can elevate his play to a first-line situation. Tonight's the night he has to start doing it.
And, of course, the other story going on in the National Hockey League, the officials are on strike. This is Game 2, so we'll have 3 rookies out there as far as officials are concerned, their first National Hockey League game. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, National Hockey Night when we come back.
ESPN's National Hockey Night is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road. And by Burger King and its everyday value meal, where you can have it your way. I love this place.
Welcome back, everybody. Pittsburgh, this is the Igloo, the home of the Pens. And as we said, officials tonight all working their first National Hockey League game. Scott Levitt is our referee from Winchester, Mass. NCAA Division I, 8 years, Hockey East. Kurt Stevens, our lineman, American Hockey League linesman. John Gould, the linesman from Chicago. He has worked the East Coast Hockey League since 1988. There are fluttering hearts. There are 3 of them right there tonight, and we are underway. Second meeting of the season. Philadelphia 1, opening night at home. Tommy Soderstrom and Ken Reggett are in net tonight for these 2 teams. Joey Mullen on the far side. Mullen working with Francis and Yager on the first line for Pittsburgh. Philadelphia controlling, sending it back in. Ripped around Renberg. Renberg get it deflected into the corner. Yager trying to get it out of the zone. Renberg batting at it. Renberg's got it, knocks it away and goes to the net. Puts Saev in front for him. The shot went right through the crease. Rebounded out for Gary Galley, deflected, but a whistle had blown as the cage and come off those Marsh pigs.
Well, I guess it's time to put the backup guys in for this hockey game. There are so many regulars out of both lineups. Tommy Soderstrom has not completed a game since the middle of October. His last start was the 27th of October in Ottawa, and he got dizzy, ended up with another heart procedure to correct a problem that he has with his heart. We'll tell you about that later. And Ken Reggett, who has appeared in 8 of the Penguins games so far this season, was an excited guy this morning. He was chomping at the bit, wanted to start.
He has a 5-2-1 mark against Philadelphia in his career, so he's always played pretty well against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Here he can play. He's a good goalie. He backed up Ron Hextall in Philadelphia. There was no way at the time he was going to play more than Ron Hextall, and here he's up against Tom Barrasso. He's a good player.
29-year-old Ken Reggett in net for them. Pelle Eklund will move in on the face-off. Won it into the corner. Kjell Samuelsson dumped it back in behind the net. Ulf Samuelsson knocked down on the far side by Pelle Eklund, but he got it out of the zone. Jaromir Jagr 3-on-3. Jagr brings it up. Francis the trailer. Tried to drop it off in front of the net. Taken away and cleared out of the zone. This is going to be an icing call. There are lots of injuries on these teams affecting who's in tonight. For Philadelphia, Claude Boyven, arthroscopic surgery on the knee. Eric Lindros, that medial collateral tear in the knee. And Yves Racine is out of there, medial collateral tear of the left knee. And now Kevin Dineen, who tried to skate tonight, he can't do it. Dineen's got a bad shoulder.
And it was touch and go with Kevin Dineen. He even warmed up. That's how close he was to being able to play. And if you think those are big injuries for the Flyers, check these out. Not only Lemieux, but Rick Tocchet with bad ribs. Grant Jennings still coming off the knee. Mike Ramsey with a bad foot. And Peter Taglianetti still recovering from a whiplash effect from a hit that he got about 10 days ago.
A lot of changes in the lines, obviously, when you have that many injuries. Off the face-off, one back in behind the net. Reggett just let Soderstrom just let that one go. Renberg tried to clear it out of the zone, could not. Finally poked out by Ryan McGill, the defenseman. Larry Murphy trying to clear the zone, cannot. Brent Fedek. Fedek looking to center, taken out in the corner. Fedek still has the puck. Fedek just dumps it back a little further. Larry Murphy goes back to get it. Murphy gets pinned up along the boards by Recchi. Dropped off far side on the attack, Greg Brown. Brown got it out. Doug Brown out there. There's his brother, Doug Brown, the forward. Greg Brown, the defenseman. Straka cutting in. Had it on the stick. Could not get the shot off. He was set up. Stuart Malgunas was right there with him. Shot deflected in front. Doug Brown scores! Doug Brown on the rebound in front, and Pittsburgh takes a 1-0 lead.
You remember the terrific start that the Flyers got off to this National Hockey League season. It has started to go bad. They have only won one of their last 5 games, and Eric Lindros played in 4 of those. They banged into one another back at the point. I thought they were going to get out of this, but here's how bad it's been going for the Flyers. Watch what Straka does. It goes back to the point. 2 Flyers on the right of your screen. You'll see them bang right together there. The shot got through, and it was a simple one-on-one in front. Doug Brown got the bounce. Pelle Eklund didn't. Pelle Eklund has moved into the spot that Eric Lindros has vacated on the number 1 line. And Doug Brown just keeps on working. You know what you're going to get from Doug Brown.
You'll always get ultimate effort. His 5th goal of the season and his 13th point. And a 1-0 lead as Doug Brown puts it in on Tommy Soderstrom. And Marty McSorley has come out. He's going to play a forward position tonight for the Pittsburgh Penguins because of injuries. Puck dumped back into the corner. Back to get it is Pat Neaton, a 22-year-old. He's out of University of Michigan, just called up today. Neaton is on the ice. So 36 for Pittsburgh. Getting some action. NHL time here tonight. Blocked away at center by McSorley. Marty McSorley coming 2-on-1 as Naslund. The shot saved by Tommy Soderstrom. And on the far side, a penalty coming up, and it will be on Pittsburgh. And there is the whistle. I think Marcus Naslund got the hook on, and a power play for the Flyers when we come back. Brown getting the goal. Greg Brown, his brother, and Martin Straka the assist at 1:35.
Well, now the Penguins are a man down. That is Marcus Naslund hooking down a Flyer defenseman, and Scott Levitt, his first National Hockey League game, and the referee has called his first penalty, and it was a good call. It was obvious.
These teams, as we said, have met once before. Philadelphia won for 3 on the power play against Pittsburgh in that game. Philadelphia power play this season tied for 7th coming in, but on the road they are dead last. They have had 4 road power play goals. Worst in the league percentage-wise, yet they have the best road record at 7-2 in the league. Figure that one out. Philadelphia's got the power play here. It'll be sent around the boards by Yuskevich. Rebound and shot! Missed the net! The rebound came right out in front. Brind'Amour missed an empty net. Brind'Amour on the near side with a puck. What a break for Pittsburgh ultimately. Yuskevich dropped it. Galley the shot deflected in front. Francis gets it over to Mullen. 1-on-1 with Yuskevich. Short-handed. Mullen the shot deflected by Yuskevich. Oh, what a chance Brind'Amour had.
The only thing working against him, Gary, is when the puck came down, it looked like it was spinning real quick. It was bouncing and spinning a little bit. All he had to do was try to cup his stick and make sure that it didn't pop up on him, but boy, he didn't have much time.
He had the goaltender Reggett in back of the net. Sent in by Brent Fennick. Back to get it, Marty McSorley. Daniels trying to clear the zone twice. Galley held it in. McSorley gets it back. Pelle Eklund holds it in. Eklund tried to drop it in front. Instead, we'll take it to the corner. Mark Recchi working on the power play with him. They look to the middle. Shot Yuskevich. That one went wide. Flyers on the advantage. They've got right there. Fennick cutting to the middle. Could not get to it. Pittsburgh short-handed. Having trouble clearing the zone. They're not getting it done. Fennick getting kicked away by Stapleton. Galley can't hold it in. Pushed out to center by Larry Murphy. Time remaining 17 on the power play.
That one try that looked like a clear try hit the referee Scott Levitt in the back. So he's been hit with his first NHL puck too here in the first moment.
He'll be counting all these first, won't he? Brought in by Philadelphia's Mark Recchi. Recchi tried to center. Yager blocked it. Murphy turns to the middle. Finds Yager far side. He runs into a stick on the ice and goes right over it. Even strength now. Penalty is over. Yager drops it. Naslund missed. He just came out of the penalty box. Samuelson chases it down at center. So the Flyers do not convert on their first power play chance. And Doug Brown's goal holds up here 1-0, 4.5 into this first period.
Really, other than that broken play that Brind'Amour almost scored on, the Flyers had no pressure whatsoever. You know, I talked to their assistant coaches about their power play before this game started. Craig Hartsburg and Mike Eaves worked real hard on the special teams for the Flyers. Terry Simpson allows them to do that. I said, what is it? And they all said, you know what, if it's not one thing, it's a different thing game after game. We cure one thing, like having a guy in front and not being able to get the shot through from the point. We finally get the shot through. Where's the guy in front? He's not there. I also asked them who's in charge of the home power play. Terry Simpson said, me.
And who's in charge of the worst power play on the road?
The other guys. But here's the Brind'Amour chance. Ken Reggett deflected it out in front himself. He reached up for it with his stick. You see it was flipping, and maybe that stick had a lot to do with it too. Ron Francis helped it out by diving with his stick.
Wow. Right over the top of the net. Philadelphia in their own end trying to clear it out. Can't. Held in at the right point by Greg Brown, who got an assist on that goal. Brown had it stripped away at center. It'll roll back to the Pittsburgh blue line. They'll come back to get it. Penguins leading by a score of 1-0. Somebody's down on the ice here.
Yes, it's a Penguin, too, and he's on the near side of the boards. I can't see who it is, but Jeff Finley got him with the stick. And it's Ronnie Francis. And he is still down.
Looks like he got it right in the mouth, Bill. Take a look at this.
Well, the Penguins management breathed a sigh of relief. Jeff Finley of the Flyers looks like he's just trying to hold Ron Francis back a little bit, and Francis clutched his chest. Thought it might have been his mouth or his throat, but it looks like it's his chest. That shot right there hurt him. You know, the old-style shoulder pads where they lace up, there's a little bit of space just where the laces are, where there's not that much protection. He may have gotten the end of the stick almost right in that spot against his breastbone, which is just a bone there. It hurts.
He did get up and leave under his own power. Reggett will hang on to it. There were no penalties called on that, so Francis went to the bench on his own, and as you see, still trying to get his breath back, stayed down on the ice for about a minute, and then got up and went off. And you can tell
well, he is putting it up there. It didn't look like it went that high.
It's like right around that Adams apple.
Well, if he got hit in the throat, I know why he folded up so quickly. Boy, your throat starts to constrict, and you can't breathe, you can't move, you can't talk.
We'll see whether or not he gets bats out. Martin Straka's got it. Straka tried to cut to the middle. Dave Tippett took it away. They look to the front of the net. Centered. Recchi, a goal! Reggett got a piece of that, but could not hang on. And Mark Recchi has tied this game at 1 on a turnover by Pittsburgh, coming out on the left wing side. 1-1.
Now, we haven't even had a chance to go through all of the names, the new names in the lineup. Terry Simpson has Chris Winnis, number 32 in the lineup tonight, and it was Winnis that made this terrific pass. Dave Tippett on the draw. Larry Murphy tried to move it around, and one bad bounce that allowed Tippett to move it into Winnis. Watch Winnis come right off the boards. That's a terrific play. Winnis didn't stop and look for somebody. He went right for the edge of the net, and he found Mark Recchi, who just kept on moving. So one of the late cuts after training camp has come through for the Flyers. Chris Winnis,
a free agent. He used to be with the Boston organization. Just called up, playing his first game this year. Tippett takes it away. Game tied at 1, 5:08. Recchi from Winnis and Dave Tippett. Philadelphia right back. Cleared up by Brown to center. Stevens drops it off. 2-on-1. Doug Brown on the right. 2-on-1 break. Brown moving in. Brown the shot. Saves Soderstrom. And cleared to the side and out of the zone. Stuart Malgunas was back and picked up the rebound, but a big save by Soderstrom on Doug Brown, who has the Pittsburgh goal in this game. Yuskevich cleared it around. Again, that comes all the way up to center. He'll wave off Eddie Icing, and Reggett will go back to get it. We're 6 minutes into the first period. Game tied at 1. Both these teams coming off losses. Philadelphia lost at home 7-2 to Buffalo Saturday. Same night, right here, Detroit beat Pittsburgh 7-3. Shot. Rannick went wide, played in by Gary Galley. Is deflects to Marty McSorley. McSorley working up on the wing. Will trail the play with Trottier, and an offside on the left wing. Naslund had moved in ahead of it.
You talk about lineup changes. Marty McSorley is playing forward in this game. The Pittsburgh Penguins are without Rick Tocchet, a power forward. Marty McSorley will go to the net. They don't have to worry about that. And he's got a ton of beef, boy, behind it. And the Flyers have Greg Hoggood up in the wing. So there are two defensemen that are playing up in the wing. And the Flyers have just tied the game on this goal. Chris Winnis with a heads-up play. Danced to the edge of the net, right through to Recchi. You know what? There was coverage on Mark Recchi. That turnover wasn't a bang-bang turnover. Tippett had to pass to Winnis and then out in front. So that's why Reggett thought the coverage was there and didn't try to pay any attention to Recchi.
Al Conroy got the linesman moving in on him over there as he got the helmet ripped off his head against the boards, and a little talking going on. Marcus Naslund, I believe, collided with him, and so they will both go to the penalty box. The players last night with these substitute officials were very careful in the games played last night to control themselves a little more. They'll try and do that again tonight. They've been asked by the league, not directly, but indirectly, to remember the situation.
Sooner or later, though, Gary, I firmly believe that they will explore just how far the edge is of the outer boundaries of what these new guys are going to bring to the ice surface. Let's face it, it's a competitive sport. You push the rules to the maximum. You push each individual that's officiating to the max. And this might be okay for now, but sooner or later, if the officials have an Achilles heel, let's say, it will be pushed to the limit, and the players will, in fact, find the edge if there is one.
And the better the game, the more likely that will happen as everybody looks for the edge. So we'll see. The penalty picked up Naslund and Conroy for roughing at 6:21 matching minors. So we'll skate 4-on-4 with the game tied at 1-1. In the middle, Jaromir Jagr. Jagr, who leads Pittsburgh with 25 points on the season, 9 goals, 16 and a goal! Tommy Soderstrom did not see set up in front. As Jaromir Jagr got Francis, that'll make him feel a whole lot better. It is 2-1 in the 4-on-4 goal.
Well, that's how bad it's been for the Flyers. Situations that are innocent that should be taken care of aren't. Here come the Penguins on a 3-on-2 that was negated. It was completely negated, and then look at 4 Flyers around 2 Penguins, and still, where's the coverage on Ron Francis? Not there. Joseph Baranek is number 42, and here's where they get confused. One crossing play, one little weave by 2 men, Jagr and Francis, and 4 Flyers were there looking around. I don't got him. Do you got him? That's the way it goes when it goes bad defensively. Your assignments seem so confusing for you.
This game's not being played very well technically here in the first 6 minutes of this game. Reggett batted it away, but a call had been made early, and Francis is hanging on to Recchi behind the net. Linesmen move in to separate that one, but a 2-1 lead as Francis got set up in front of the net, and he knew what to do with it. He was right on the doorstep and buried it as Jaromir Jagr will pick up the assist along with Kjell Samuelsson at 6:37. We may have a shootout here at the OK Corral here in Pittsburgh tonight. Pittsburgh's coming into this game 17th in the league in scoring at 3.26, while Philadelphia is second at 4.16. Eddie Johnston's got to be wondering, how much advantage can we take here tonight? A mistake's being made by the Flyers. Comes ahead, intended for Francis, deflects into the zone. Jeff Finley chasing it down, touches up, and that'll be an icing call. And the faceoff will come back the other way. Finley working on defense tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. Among the changes made, he's not one of them. He's been getting some playing time. That's one of the reasons why.
We talked about the players and how they will react to the new officiating. They kind of are straddling a double-edged sword to a degree. They want to be sympathetic to the referees union, because the referees were sympathetic to them when they went out on strike. At the same time, they realize they have a product, so that man that you were looking at, Scott Levitt, is going to get a lot of support, as you mentioned. So the players are kind of stuck in the middle of this thing. They want to support the referees, but they want their product to be good, so they have to support the new guys.
They thought there might be sympathy strikes here tonight. Pickets, rather, outside. Last word we had was that none materialized. The players came in a different door tonight, just in case. Right through the middle. We're still in a 4-on-4 situation here. It'll be held in wide side by Finley, who dumped it in and lost it. Stevens brings it out. Kevin Stevens moving up. Finley all over him. Stevens that's knocked down in the corners. Finley just took him out of the play. Cleared up the boards. Near side Philadelphia back. Run and gun 4-on-4. Recchi moving it in. Recchi dumps it to Pelle Eklund. Set up, and it was shot wide. Boy, we've had some opportunities with guys cutting down the middle. Jason Bowen, the rookie that time, didn't get it on net. Stevens the other way again. Larry Murphy. Murphy centered. Goal! Trottier on an empty net. Tommy Soderstrom had moved out all the way out of the crease. Trottier got set up, and it is a 3-1 Pittsburgh lead. And the defense of Philadelphia in front of their goaltender is non-existent right now.
They're there, Gary. They just don't know who to pick up. 3 Flyers, 3 Penguins. Bowen hits Stevens, right? Stevens ends up out of the play. Now a 4th Penguin comes in. That's Brian Trottier, but the 4th Flyer didn't get back in time. You want to wreck a goalie's confidence, do this to a guy like Tommy Soderstrom. He's still trying to find himself this season. He is counting on coverage behind him. Wasn't even close. There was no coverage behind him. That's a good example of how, even if you're the 4th guy back into the zone, you've got to pedal to get back there. Brian Trottier scored that goal, and he was the 4th Penguin to hit the zone.
Trottier picks it up, and Pittsburgh's got a 3-1 lead. We're still in a 4-on-4. Marty McSorley could not control. Came free along the blue line. Joey Mullen gets bumped against the boards by Michael Renberg, the rookie. Cleared back into Mullen. Mullen looking into the middle for Stapleton. Drops it off. It'll be played there by Renberg. A 3-1 lead for Pittsburgh, as Trottier gets his 2nd of the season. Murphy and Stevens at 7:42 on Pittsburgh's 3rd goal. Marty McSorley backed it up, not out of the zone, but Sayev trying to hold it in on the near side. He was getting pinned up against the boards. Renberg over to help out, and they'll whistle that one as no one can get it out. Stapleton also moved in for Pittsburgh. So a 3-1 lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are 4-2-1 here at home. And Brian Trottier, the veteran, has put another one up.
He was feeling good even this morning. He only has 1 goal coming into this game. He got his goal in the first game of the season that we did in Philadelphia. This is goal number 2. He wants to play against the Flyers every game. Here's another look at it. Larry Murphy will hang on to it until he either has to shoot it or he can pass it. Oh, look at that. The 2 Flyers looking at it. Both Eklund And Jason Bowen looking right at Larry Murphy when he slipped it over to Brian Trottier. Terry Simpson, the Flyers coach, said, boy, we're having trouble picking up the coverage in our end. I didn't think it was this bad.
It isn't being picked up at all.
It's way worse than I thought it would be.
Thus far here tonight for Brian Trottier, his 522nd goal. He is 15th all-time in goals. His 1,412th point. He is 6th all-time in points. Chasing Stan Mikita in points, Jari Kurri in goals, the two guys ahead of him in those categories. Kjell Samuelsson lost it. Recchi centered right through the middle. It's not as though Pittsburgh is playing outstanding defense. Yager the other way. Yager, one man to beat, trying to move it around. Galley could not. Tommy Soderstrom knocked it away. And Yager got into it at the other end of the ice with Gary Galley as they trailed each other into the corner. Into the zone. Samuelsson coming back to get it, and that will be whistled on the icing call. We're not yet halfway through this first period, but already the Pittsburgh Penguins have built a 3-1 lead. Welcome back, everybody. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Gary Thorne and Bill Clement, great to have you with us. Pittsburgh on top here by a score of 3-1 as they have jumped out here with some bad coverage, couple of goals in a 4-on-4 situation. Kevin Stevens hasn't even got it going yet. The most amazing number, Bill, we were talking about today. This guy is playing at a -14, the worst in the league. I can't believe that.
Well, we have seen him enough to know that he has gotten his chances, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And he just looks tight to me.
He's up among the leaders in the league in shots.
Sure. He's just not getting the points, getting the goals.
Look at the cough up. Soderstrom makes a save on Mullen. Philadelphia cannot do anything right at this moment. Pittsburgh trying to hold it in here. It's even strength. Alt Samuelsson clears it in. They changed that assist on the Pittsburgh goal number 2 from Shell to Alt Samuelsson. Those of you at home scoring, as we say in baseball. Offside, Conroy on the near side will stop the clock with 10:18 left to go here in the first period.
You know, the only thing that Kevin Stevens has to do, any goal scorer would tell him this, any coach would tell him this, keep going to the net. He's 6'3", weighs 225 pounds. That's one thing the opposition cannot stop him from doing. If he goes to the net consistently enough, if he does not score, he will draw penalties, and sooner or later, a couple will bang in off of him, and he will start to get his confidence back. When I look at him talking to Mark Recchi, they had their traditional pre-game meeting on the ice. They sneak along the boards. Nobody's in the building, but if you get here at 5 o'clock, folks, and they're playing against one another, they have their 15-minute meeting along the boards. They're very close friends.
And out there against one another right now. Shot deflected into the corner. Tommy Soderstrom banks it off the boards. Jeff Finley in behind the net to get it off the shot that was taken by Stevens. Deflected into the glove of Soderstrom with Brown and Stevens both cutting in, and he hangs on. Tommy Soderstrom, last start, well, was on 10:27. Then he ended up with more of those heart problems. He played on Saturday for 42 minutes, coming on for Dominic Roussel, and now starts tonight.
Gary, 2 weeks ago, he went to Oklahoma after 4 treatments, procedures for Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. It's an abnormality of the heartbeat. He had 4 catheters that were actually inserted into his heart in Washington at different times last year, unsuccessfully. A 5th one, they think they got it, but he had to go to Oklahoma, where there's one of the foremost experts in the world on the procedure that actually performed it, and he performed it a little differently. He actually went through his arm to get to his heart. Usually, and this, you know, it sounds terrible. Tommy Soderstrom says it doesn't hurt. They make a little incision in the groin and goes that way, all the way up with the tube into the heart, and try to zap the heartbeat so that it gets to be a regular heartbeat. 4 times they failed. The 5th one through the arm, they think they got it.
Now, this is what the officials worry about here, both those in the National Hockey League and those on the ice. A penalty called here as a hook is going to be assessed, and then afterwards the guys went to the corner, but people like Larry Murphy, for one, moved in and actually tried to separate. You see Yuskevich having words with Kevin Stevens. They were separated. There's at least one penalty that came early, and it's going to be on Pittsburgh, as the hooking call will be on Martin Straka.
Well, there's the penalty on Martin Straka. Gary, yeah, that's why the Penguins ended up with a good scoring chance. You know, that scrum in the corner, this stuff right here, the one thing that the officials have to guard against, Gary, is a game getting what is called out of hand. In other words, the combustibility level gets so high that one spark and poof, everybody starts to scrap in the corner. Well, to do that, you have to take coincidentals. You have to make sure that you call penalties, maybe clamp down. And the referees have an interesting situation working. In every building, there's a supervisor up in the press box that actually is tuned into a little earpiece the referee has, and they can talk to one another. They will not be bothered during the play, but when the play stops, if the referee needs some assistance, in every building there's a supervisor hooked up, and they can say, listen, you may be losing control here. Get control back.
Only if they need assistance is what we were told by the supervisor tonight. Recchi brings it in. Power play underway for Philadelphia. Cleared out by Francis. Played by Galley at center ice. A 3-1 Pittsburgh lead. The Philadelphia Flyers with the power play. They were 19th in the league coming into the game tonight on their power play unit. Cleared back to Gary Galley. Galley drops it off into the corner. Galley looking back out. They're trying to set up in front. They've got Fedek set up in front. Galley working with Hawgood along the blue line. Ulf Samuelsson just took down Recchi in front of the net. There's Recchi, shot saved, two by Reagan. Recchi had gotten knocked down by Ulf Samuelsson. Samuelsson moved away. Recchi got back up and had two chances. Reagan with two big saves. Hawgood back over to Galley. They've got Fedek now in the high slot. There's Recchi. Recchi cruising back up. Galley. They're looking for Fedek in the middle. In the box, Hawgood was cutting in. Mullen intercepted. Mullen coming with Francis. Philadelphia's back. Mullen will drop it in. Played by Recchi. 49 seconds remaining on the Pittsburgh penalty. Francis and Hawgood trying to separate behind the play. Brendamore brings it up. Brendamore leading the Flyers with 28 points coming into tonight's game. Lindros out, of course. Leading goal scorer with 15 for them. Recchi trying to back it up. Varadek also has 15 goals. There's Varadek. Joseph Varadek near side for Hawgood. Hawgood dumped it in behind the net. Goes all the way to Galley. 25 left on the power play. Brendamore. Brendamore could not handle it. Reaching in, trying to get it back. Can't. Cleared up and out of the zone by McSorley.
And the Penguins are no fools. As long as the Flyers don't have all kinds of time and complete control of the puck on their power play, they're going to blitz them. They're going to rush them all over the place and keep them off balance. For 30 seconds, the Flyers had the puck in the zone. Never came close to a shot on Reagan.
Never got it set up. They've had the two that were taken by Recchi, cleared up by Jaromir Jagr, and the penalty's over. So they do not convert on the power play. We're back to full strength with Pittsburgh leading at 3-1. 7:30 left to go here in the period. Brendamore brings it back in. Rod Brendamore, 8 goals and 20 assists on the season for his 28 points. We have the delayed offside call here, handled by Samuelsson, so Philadelphia cleared the zone. Ulf and Shell Samuelsson together on defense. Pass deflected on the far side, cleared back out of the zone by Vitsayev. Pittsburgh now clears the zone, and they tried to dump it back in and couldn't. Varadek's got it. Varadek drops it wide side, cleared ahead. This play at center by Finley. Pittsburgh right back. Stevens dropped it back to Stevens. Centering pass shot wide by Jagr, and he wound up at the top of the circle. Jaromir Jagr was alone on that left wing. Right back for Jagr, bounces off his heels. Jagr's out there now with Stapleton and Trottier. Stevens and Trottier on this line. Pittsburgh's in the middle of a line change.
That was a big test for Jaromir Jagr. He has a real severely bruised index finger on his left hand. I didn't see him slap the puck once today. In the morning skater in the warm-up, he let it rip that time.
Yeah, he wound up and got it all. A penalty along the boards. They will separate. Nope, no penalty. This puck was hit with a high stick. Let's check in with Steve Levy.
Gary Thorne, let's take you to Miami. Take a look at the top power play unit in the NHL. Sergei Zubov to Brian Leetch. Never touches anyone. Goes right through, beating old friend John Van Beesbrook. Leetch, the NHL best 18 power play points.
New York Rangers playing, of course, against Florida. John Van Beesbrook, the Rangers' former goaltender. And Roger Nielsen, the former Ranger coach. Florida's continued to play a great defensive game this season, so there'll be a little extra in that one at Florida. Into the boards, the puck freed up near side. Pittsburgh in their own zone, controlling. Pat Neaton spinning around with it, couldn't get it out of the zone. The rookie left it off for Jim Pack. Pack has come back after missing the early part of the season. Playing extremely well and a lot. Naslin trying to bring it in. It's onside. He got it into the zone. Brown there trying to get it out. Can't. Pack held it in. Mullen down low. Joey Mullen, the shot. He never got it off. But Sayev from behind picked up his stick. It rolls in on Tommy Soderstrom. And he freezes it 3-1 Pittsburgh.
Did come close on their last power play. Terrific pass. Gary Galley into Eklund, and here's the terrific pass. Both Samuelsons pinched out. That leaves somebody open. Recchi, one save by Ken Reagan, two saves by Ken Reagan. He said he was pretty good. Those were terrific. I mean, Reagan's anticipation was wonderful, but you know what? Reagan had to know that Recchi was there behind him because he saw two Samuelsons in front of him, and I don't know what Alfie was thinking of going over there to take on Mark Recchi because Shell was already there.
Larry Murphy's shot save made again by Tommy Soderstrom. Pittsburgh keeping the heat on here. Naslin shot. Soderstrom another save. That came through a screen. Renberg's got it for the Flyers, who are trailing by 2. Renberg brings it in. Renberg has been playing extremely well. Conroy tried to tip it, rolled free of Tippett, who was standing in front of the net, and back to center ice. Michael Renberg, second among rookies in scoring. He's had 8 goals in the last 12 games. There's number 19 for the Flyers. Counting on him to continue that with Eric Lindros out of the lineup. Cleared up along the boards by Yuskevich. They flip. Murphy is there. Larry Murphy holds it in. He gets mugged along the boards as Tippett frees the puck up, but didn't get it out of the zone. Yes, he did. Greg Brown dumped it in. Pittsburgh, though, forced to clear. They do that. Gary Galley on the near side. Back through center. Tippett. They need a line change. Shot it in off the board. Breggett will glove it and hang on as he had Brent Fedek moving in on him. 3-1. Pittsburgh up on the Flyers. ESPN's National Hockey Night moves to Madison Square Garden next Tuesday. Bill and I will be there. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. The Montreal Canadiens. Patrick Roy among the top 5 in all the goaltender numbers. And a rejuvenated Mark Messier. He has been hot. There you see the numbers that he has. Tabarachi's not played a lot of games this season, but he's trying to win a job in Washington. You see Patrick Roy with that .226 goals against, and then John Casey of Boston, the top 3. Next Tuesday night, Canadiens and Rangers, National Hockey Night. That shot deflected off Pelly Eklund. Stevens clears it out of the zone. Philadelphia back at center. Stuart Malgunas shot it right back in. Ken Reggett goes back to get it. Reggett beat Anaheim in the start on November 7, 5-4. It's his 6th start of the year in net to Tom Barrasso, who had started 12 of the last 13 prior to tonight. Dump pass near side for Doug Brown, who's got one of the goals. Brown cleared it into the corner, then he got cut off. Jammed around, pretty good check put on Malgunas in the corner. Philadelphia starts it up ice, 3-1 Pittsburgh lead. Pittsburgh's done a good job of deflecting passes coming through center. Played around, Samuelson tried at least, Fedek blocked it initially. Will be controlled and just dumped out of the zone by Stevens. Philadelphia plays it back, Ryan McGill went back. Doug Brown started the scoring in this game. Recchi tied it, but Francis and Trottier had scored, and that one's hung on to on a bouncing puck.
You know, we just looked at the top 3 goaltending averages, their goals against averages in the league. Ken Reggett is under 3, 2.84. And I started to look up the number of goalies today whose averages are below 3, because it seemed to me like there were a lot. Well, last year, there are only 5 total. This year, there are 18 to date. Now, those will probably change, and we're talking about a minimum of 5 appearances, so I didn't just look at the guys that have played 1 game, 2 games. 18 goaltenders so far, and the goal scoring is down. It's down a half a goal a game, which might not seem like a lot, but when you know that there have been 233 games played, that means there are 116 fewer goals scored this year. That's a lot.
Fewer goals, yeah. Shot on, Reggett kicks that one away on the point shot. Butsayev had it on the right wing, held in by Bowen, though. The jam up in the corner. Winnis coming around in front. Baranek was there as well. Baranek gets tied up by Jim Pack. Baranek got him back to the point. Save made again on Winnis' shot. Rebound picked up by Francis. Winnis working behind the net and couldn't do anything with it. Pittsburgh's Pat Neaton starts it up. Jaromir Jagr on this line. Jagr coming to the middle. Neaton cuts in front of him, trying to hit the defenseman. That's Mullins' shot, saved by Soderstrom. Mullins finding some room, then he got decked behind the play after he took that shot. He's had some room, pretty good chances. Brendamore brings it up. Brendamore with Pack in front of him. Brendamore, he and Pack collide on the far side. Jaromir Jagr moves over. Winnis is there with the puck up against the board for the Flyers. Officials want it to be moved. It doesn't, so they blow the whistle. 3:15 left to go here in the first.
Well, Scott Levitt, the referee for this game, is letting them play. I'll tell you, he was standing right beside Jimmy Pack and Joseph Baranek. Pack with a full face shield because of that serious eye injury that he suffered at training camp. Still wants it to heal all the way, but they were going at it, Pack and Baranek in the corner, and Levitt was standing there watching them. Here's Pack trying to take Baranek out of the play. Watch. He doesn't want to let him back in. Now, the puck is a good 15 feet away from him, and Pack is, look at this, slashing and everything. Levitt was standing right there, did not call.
The supervisor tonight told us that the referees have been told that as much as they can, let him play. Deflected wide into the corner on the shot by Renberg in front. Philadelphia putting some offensive heat on. McSorley kicking away at it. McSorley and Butsayev. Brown and Stevens. Kevin Stevens trying to pin him up. Butsayev moved in again. Pittsburgh will finally get it. Marty McSorley from behind his net. His pass up intercepted Renberg. Renberg tried to drop it in the middle. McSorley deflected at that time, and Trottier was able to clear it out. Stevens coming. Stevens along with Doug Brown and Trottier. Trottier moves in. Stevens was already in the zone and could not get out of there. Brian Trottier, a year off, then he returns this season and he's had some injuries, but when he's healthy, he's playing regular shifts.
What Brian Trottier told me this morning that was kind of interesting. The Players Union, the Players Association, has not really told the players what the official party line is for them. I think that's why you hear different comments from different players, but Brian Trottier himself was curious as to just what the Players Union was, what the party line was for their union on the official strike. And they don't really have one. At least they don't know that they have one yet.
If that's the case, it's probably intentional. Near side, in, Galley, the shot, break at the save, rebound, loose in front. Novrmber tried to jam it home, blocked. It hit a lot of skates in front. Comes to center, Stevens after it. Galley got there first. Brown trying to clear it in, had it taken away. Doug Brown brings it up to the offensive line. Larry Murphy. Murphy with a little room. Murphy got cut off by Renberg. Renberg still with him. Larry Murphy, the defenseman, trying to center. Pittsburgh back covering up, though. They did not leave it naked at the line. Alf Samuelsson sends it in. Doug Brown had moved back. Cover up for Murphy. Dmitry Yushkevich from behind his own net. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Penguins leading it by a score of 3-1. Pittsburgh this season has had only half dozen games where they've gotten 4 or more goals. They've already got 3 in the first period in this one. Alf Samuelsson holding it in. Back for Francis. Francis centered. Yager. Wrist pass in front. Penalty coming up. It'll be on the Flyers. Right there. Ryan McGill had moved in trying to help out in front, but in doing so he is charged with the penalty. Sam Cisco is the supervisor who's on hand here. There's a two-way walkie-talkie system set up for the supervisor and the referee, Sam.
If it is proven to help the officiating, it could become a permanent fixture. As far as being used here tonight, it is not a case of me refereeing the hockey game. I'm here to assist, and if the official needs some assistance, he will buzz me.
Well, there he is. So I guess that means the referee is not going to hear, "Look out, behind you."
No. Pretty good chance he'll say as little as possible here tonight. It's a little earpiece that they have for the officials on the ice, and it transmits upstairs to the supervisor, and if they need help, they'll ask. Otherwise, Cisco said, we don't want to be talking to them. We'll leave that be. Power play underway here for Pittsburgh as the Flyers. Penalty picked up by McGill, the holding at 18:22. Francis dropped it off. Yager on Soderstrom. Soderstrom made a kick save on the far side as he got that right leg out on that one. Pat Neaton, the rookie, working the power play. You believe that? Your first game, you come up here and you end up along the blue line with Larry Murphy. There he is, right there.
I hope he's got cool hands.
Ooh, he's going to need them tonight. Cleared in, 3-1 Pittsburgh leads. Tommy Soderstrom moves out. He'll hang on with Jaromir Jagr skating in. Soderstrom had it in the glove.
Well, 4 years at University of Michigan. That's Pat Neaton's background. He started this season with the Cleveland Lumberjacks in the International League, and this is his first National Hockey League game. He was a 7th-round pick in 1990, and the reason that he was called up, the Penguins' power play has struggled, mainly in phase 1 of the power play, and that is getting the puck up ice with some speed. Ron Francis generally manned that left point. Larry Murphy the right point. The Penguins didn't feel as if they had enough speed coming up ice, but they have it with Neaton.
Larry Murphy working along the point. Final minute of this first period. Neaton shot covered up as it was tipped in by Francis. Francis tipped it in on net, and a good save by Tommy Soderstrom.
Well, the other thing that it allows the Penguins to do, Gary, is put Ronnie Francis up front. They really believe in his playmaking abilities, and I do too. Around the net when he gets behind the net, if he's not Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux, but he's still terrific in tight spaces. They need that playmaking in front, so it was really a double move. Move Francis up front as a playmaker and put Pat Neaton back on the point to generate some speed.
This is Francis working out in front of the net. He already has picked up 1 goal tonight and is now all alone for 36th in the National Hockey League history in points. He has been tied coming into tonight with Lanny McDonald. He has now moved 1 ahead of Tippett, and he'll stay at least 1 ahead of his business. Lanny's working in our business and PR out west. Jaromir Jagr drops it off. Trying to clear it out of the zone here. The Flyers short-handed effort. 34 seconds left to go in the period. Larry Murphy, there's longer than that left in the power play. Tippett on the near side, comes back to the point. Held in there. Murphy's got it. Murphy looking down through the circle. Played Yushkevich, lost it. Stevens has it. Stevens, Doug Brown in front. Never got the shot off. Cleared out. Good play by Tippett, who anticipated the pass. We'll have the highlights of other games of the National Hockey League. A look at what's going on with the strike by the officials of the National Hockey League all during our first intermission for you. Eaton brought it in, got tied up by Galley, sends it out. Reggett will go back to get it, and that will do it here in the first period. Second period will start with 22 seconds remaining on the Pittsburgh power play. We've completed one here at the Igloo. It's been Brown, Recchi, Francis, and Trottier the goals in this one, and after one, it's Pittsburgh 3, Philadelphia 1.
And welcome back, everyone, to our ESPN National Hockey Night studio. Steve Levy along with Jim Schoenfeld and Al Morganti. In recent weeks, he has become nearly as recognizable as Gretzky or Lemieux, and that's a problem. Nothing personal, Don, me, and you understand. He is the chief negotiator for the officials union, and he joins us now live from Toronto. The first question, the strike, as we approach midnight tonight, we will be 48 hours in. I'm curious, since the strike has started, has there been any conversation, and what conversation do you expect for the rest of the week?
Well, there hasn't been any conversation since Monday. I initiated a conversation with the league on Saturday of last week, and we had a productive meeting on Sunday to the extent that we agreed to continue to communicate. The meeting was not productive in that we weren't able to resolve our differences. We don't have any set agenda in relation to when we're going to communicate with each other, but I expect that I'll initiate communication before the end of the week.
Don, the other thing is the timing, I think, is somewhat curious. When the players went out on strike, there was all sorts of leverage because they did it as playoff time was approaching, when everyone was paying attention to what's going on in the NHL. Why now? Is this the proper time for a strike by the officials?
Well, the collective bargaining agreement expired in August, and Gary Bettman asked for some understanding and consideration on behalf of our association to the extent that he was new on the job and wanted time to understand and appreciate our philosophy, and both sides agreed to extend this process through until 2 days ago. And at that point in time, if we weren't able to consummate an agreement, then it was clearly understood that there would be a withdrawal of services.
Don, what's most amazing to most people is to look at the numbers being offered by the NHL. If I could just go over them right now, $50,000 starting for referee. They offered $65,000 to go to $80,000 by 96-97. In 10 years, a 10-year referee, $80,000 to $125,000 up to $140,000, and 20-plus years, currently $90,000 to $175,000 to $220,000. If you just look at those numbers as a working man, that's a heck of a raise. And how can a group of referees turn down that kind of money?
Well, I think you have to draw a distinction between a working man and the profession that we're speaking of now. Nobody would speak of a percentage increase in relation to a coach or a player. There are only 16 people in the world who do what these people do, and I think you have to understand that they will not go into the National Hockey League until they're 32 years of age, and invariably will leave by the time they're 46 or 47. So if you hope to attract a young man who has aspirations to be in the National Hockey League, that's a very short lifespan, and I do think you're going to have to recognize some special attributes in relation to that profession.
Mr. Meehan, Jim Schoenfeld here. Right now, you have the officials making absolutely no money, collecting no benefits. How long can you keep the rank and file united?
Well, there's no question that we're a very small group. There's only 58 members, and compared to the National Hockey League, there's no comparison in relation to power or resources. What these people have done is that they've formulated a position which they feel to be fair and competitive, and on the basis of that, they feel they've done the right thing. The most important thing to these people is to do what's fair in the circumstances, and certainly the consequences subsequent to that they're going to have to deal with. But I think the proper thing is they've done the right thing.
Don, you're a player agent also, and when your players holds out, there's a lot of leverage. The NHL is using substitute officials. What leverage do you have as the games go on?
Well, I think that the National Hockey League would like to position itself as a credible sport in North America. And I think if the league is being held out now to have replacement officials involved in the game who've never officiated any games at the professional level, it may be fine for one period or one game, but I think you're going to have a better perception as time goes on in relation to the replacement officials' value to the game. I don't think there's any consideration whatsoever amongst executives or players that these people aren't competent and they aren't as experienced as the people that are currently doing the job.
Don, before we let you go, I know you were at a dinner in Toronto with Gary Bettman. Were you sitting at the same table, by the way?
No, we haven't called each other today, but I'm sure we'll see each other later on this evening.
Don, we appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. That is Don Meehan, the chief negotiator for the officials union. Hopefully we'll talk with Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, a little bit later on and get much more on that. This is ESPN's National Hockey Night. When we return, all sorts of news and notes from what's going on around the league. 4 games still being played with the replacement officials. Scores and highlights, including Brian Leetch's goal, when we come back on ESPN's National Hockey Night. And welcome back, everyone. The score of our game after 1 period of play, the Pittsburgh Penguins at home leading the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 3-1. And we just heard from Don Meehan, giving the official side of the strike currently right now. Your thoughts on what Mr. Meehan had to say?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve, one thing the officials did right was getting Don Meehan. I know that some people say he's a player agent, maybe he shouldn't be with the officials, but he's well respected throughout the league. And with officials and management, there could have been some real fireworks, and he's done his best to keep that down, so there is still some hope with Meehan keeping it a low volume.
You know, the officials, I think, are looking for money, of course, but something that they look for on the ice, and I think it's a matter of respect with the officials. They would like a little more respect. They want to be taken more seriously. So I think as this thing winds itself down, that could become as much an issue as the dollars and cents are.
All right, and we hope to hear from NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman in just a bit. Well, the first NHL coaching change this season has been made. Paul Holmgren of the Hartford Whalers was the head coach and acting GM. Now he's just the regular general manager. Moved there to his full-time position. Former assistant Pierre Maguire will take over as the full-time head coach. The Whalers are at 4-11-2. Hockey tonight going on. The New York Rangers, the Florida Panthers from Miami. Interesting one. John Van Beesbrook and Roger Nielsen going up against their former mates. Although this would be Mike Richter making his 13th straight start. Makes the save off of Scott Mellenby of the Panthers. Ranger power play #1 in the league. Big part of that is Brian Leetch. He scores through the screen. Nobody ever touched it. Gave the Rangers the 1-0 lead. That's where they stand after 1 period of play. Van Beesbrook gave up the goal, but he already has 18 saves after that first period. Rangers a 1-0 lead over Florida. Also, San Jose and Washington, the only other game going on right now after 1. They are scoreless. Rick Tabaracci in goal for Washington. He leads the league with a goals against of 1.99. But the game you are enjoying, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Philadelphia Flyers. After 1, 3-1 in favor of the Pens. They get the goal from Ron Francis. Just one. We get together, National Hockey Night. Tuesday night, it's the Big Apple from the Garden in New York. The Montreal Canadiens with Patrick Waugh in goal will face off against Mark Messier and the New York Rangers. Gary and Bill from Pittsburgh. Second period action up next on National Hockey Night.
ESPN's National Hockey Night is brought to you by Sony. Nothing unleashes the power of music like Sony. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by calcium-rich Tums. Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium.
Welcome back to the Igloo, everybody in Pittsburgh. Teams back out on the ice after 1. Pittsburgh leading Philadelphia 3-1. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. Pittsburgh taking advantage of Philadelphia's weaknesses on defense in this first one, Bill. They came in 19th, the Flyers on defense. We saw why.
If somebody said to me, how about the Flyers' defensive coverage, I'd say, what coverage was that you were watching? Because there wasn't any. It's the kind of coverage that gives a guy that prides himself on team defense, like their head coach, Terry Simpson, gives him cold sweats and nightmares in the middle of the night because, boy, it was bad by the Flyers in the first period. Watch 2 Flyers bang together at the bottom right. That was bad enough. But then 2 Flyers let Doug Brown get by them. Ryan McGill and Pelle Eklund had Doug Brown skate right by them. It got worse. On this rush, the Penguins appear to have a 3-on-2. Look at the 2 Flyers closing fast, back-checking. They're all back. At one point, though, all 4 of them right here are looking at Jaromir Jagr. Finally, they realize that Ronnie Francis has gotten in behind him. 4 guys, I can see it happening to 1 or 2. You know you've got a problem defensively when 4 guys do it. And then Kevin Stevens with the drop here on this play to Larry Murphy, who just hung on long enough for Brian Trottier, who was the 4th guy into the zone, to come back. Never too late to get into the offensive zone. And Trottier scored his 2nd of the year. Penguins are 1 goal away from scoring 4, and I'll tell you what, when the Flyers allow 4, they don't do very well. 1-7. Penguins are 1-6.
Power play still underway for Pittsburgh as we start the second period. 17 seconds left on the penalty to McGill. So a Pittsburgh power play. Yager's shot was blocked into the corner by Malgunas. Tippett trying to get it out. Yager kicking at it. Good job by Yager to hold it in. Francis behind the net. Mullen looking in front. Right through Malgunas, but all the way to center. As Neaton was cutting in on the blue line, penalties over. So Pittsburgh 0 for 1 on the power play now, while Philadelphia 0 for 2 on their power play chances. Pittsburgh leading it by a score of 3-1, and we are back to even strength. Joey Mullen could not handle that one. Cleared back up. Malgunas for Pelle Eklund. Hauled in by Recchi. Recchi with Murphy on him. Recchi a wraparound shot right through the crease. He was trying to set it up in the middle and almost did. Pittsburgh getting away with one right there. Cleared across ice by Pat Neaton. Yager back in his own zone. Mullen tried to touch that, could not. This is going to be an icing call. Yuskevich will go back and touch that one up. Just underway here in the second. Our Miller Genuine Draft scoring summary looks like this. Doug Brown is 5th of the year from Greg Brown, his brother, and Strzok at 135. Recchi tied it with his 9th. Winnis and Tippett at 508. Winnis' first game this season. Francis getting his 6th from Yager and Al Samuelson at 637. And Trottier's 2nd of the year from Murphy and Stevens at 742. Shots on in the first period. Not a great discrepancy there with Pittsburgh having the advantage, but only by 2. Off the draw to the left of Ken Reggett. Reggett in for Pittsburgh. Barrasso getting the night off. Tommy Soderstrom in. Dominic Roussel the night off. Doug Brown whacks it out of the zone. Bob Brayak recovering with Diane Latin, who is the mom of the man who runs the Pittsburgh organization, the equipment man Steve Latin. Extend best wishes to both of you who are watching tonight. Barb, healthy and quick recovery for you. Samuelson back to get it. Cleared up off the boards. Comes to center. Jaromir Jagr. Jagr drops it on the near side. Stevens trying to run it into the zone. Deflects to the corner. Over to get it Straka. Straka looking for Stevens. Couldn't get it to him. Yuskevich can't get it by Doug Brown. Straka trying to drop it off again. Spinning with it, Kevin Stevens. Stevens in front. Tommy Soderstrom tipped it away. Boy, Soderstrom's had trouble controlling the puck. That came right back on him. Straka, Doug Brown. Brown looking for help as they cut and weave. This is even strength now. Intercepted by Yuskevich. And the Flyers clear the zone. Poke checked away. Yuskevich back to get it.
You talked about Tommy Soderstrom. He may look like he's fighting it, and he may be fighting it. He really has not established what can only be called a rhythm. Since last season, he had a bad training camp. He basically played himself out of the #1 job, and he really hasn't gotten it together yet.
Penalty coming up on Jim Pack as he got the stick in and tripped or hooked. Either way, the Flyers have a power play. Pacific, the Boston Bruins and the Hartford Whalers in that New England battle. Ray Bourque, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points. Jeff Sanderson, 13 goals for the Whalers. Tom Mees, Jim Schoenfeld will be there. And then Fire on Ice Thursday, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Los Angeles Kings coming your way from the Forum in Los Angeles.
I sure want to wish Paul Holmgren and Pierre Maguire good luck in their new positions. Pierre now head coach in Hartford. Paul moving up to GM. Hard-working guys.
A good shot hung onto by Reggett. Alt Samuelson jousting in front of the net, skates away as Renberg was setting himself up. Renberg's got the size to be a danger in front of that net. He has 3 power play goals of the 9 the rookie has picked up this season.
Everybody was worried about Renberg, but he's finally turning it on now. Talk to Kenny Reggett about his helmet and the cage. Look, no neck protection, no chin strap, but he said, look, it's brand new foam inside and it kind of sticks to my head like it's going to stay on. He just got that helmet in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia equipment man, Turk Evers, is the guy that stocks those helmets, so he borrowed one from him, attached his old cage. Reggett uses skates and that mask design, same ones he started with in 1973-74 when he was 15. 11 years ago, or at least his skates wore out last year, and he went to get another pair and found out they hadn't manufactured that model in 11 years.
No wonder.
But
Come on.
He found a pair.
Join the 90s. Come on, Kenny. You get a real mask.
He found an old pair of those skates in New York, but he's a turn-of-the-century guy, equipment-wise.
Power play underway. Galley's got it. Philadelphia down by 2. They've got the advantage here on the power play. Hawgood and Galley. Hawgood there. Back for Galley. The one-timers blocked deep. Rolls into the far side corner. Stable and blocked it. Francis, Shell Samuelson, all were there. Francis finally got it. Short-handed. Here they come again. They've had 3 short-handed chances in the game. Al Samuelson wide of Tommy Soderstrom, and dumped that one in on a delayed whistle on an offside call. 1 minute left on the power play, Chance. We have masks that are not going to make the Hall of Fame tonight.
Well, same style in the sense that there's a helmet and a cage, but look at the difference in the size of the cage that Soderstrom has. Plus, he's got the dewlap hanging down for the chin protection, the plastic thing.
Only one person per mask, please.
Although two can fit in there. And Soderstrom wears a chin strap, unlike Ken Reagan.
Lordy, lordy. These guys, you can tell they're the backup goaltenders. They don't have those companies making those $8 billion masks with all the paintings and the artwork on it for these guys.
Oh, Tommy used to take his parrot to work. He used to house the same cage.
Oh, Lord. Larry Murphy back together. Pittsburgh still short-handed. Pelly Eklund tried to knock it down, could not hold it in. Gary Galley drops it off. Philadelphia 0 for 2 in the power play, 1 for 5 this year against Pittsburgh. Came in tied for 7th overall, but as we said, last on the road was their power play starting today. Having trouble with it, Galley ridden out of the play, knocked down by Daniels, but puck held in to Pelly Eklund. Eklund drops it behind the net. They're setting up. Fedek shot, missed it wide, partially blocked. Fedek got alone in front for a moment, but Stapleton came up from behind him and deflected it. Again, they work behind the net. Fedek pinned up by Murphy. Recchi trying to go for it in the corner, hit by Stevens. 6 seconds left on the power play. Eklund in front. Shot off Eklund's skate by Fedek. Tried to dump it back, and it'll be cleared by Larry Murphy. And that'll do it. 0 for 3 on the power play, Philadelphia. And we're back to even strength as the penalty killers of Pittsburgh, 13th in the league, have gotten the job done here tonight. Held on to by Reagan. Empty net. Renberg scores! Michael Renberg turned around. Thank you very much. There was the puck. Reagan gave it to him and couldn't get back to stop it.
Boy, Kenny Reagan has just about cost himself by wandering in this game, and now he has. Remember that one in the first period where he reached over his head behind the net and it bounced out? Well, look at Hoggood's high drifter that Reagan catches. Got all kinds of time to put back into play. Wrong. And he had a D-man right beside him as well. There was a defenseman standing beside him saying, here I am, go ahead and give it to me. Kenny Reagan put it right on Michael Renberg's stick for goal number 10 of the season.
Unbelievable pass by Reagan. The most obvious mistake. Put it right on the stick of Renberg, and it is now a 1-goal game. So Renberg, second among the rookies in scoring, has his 9th goal in the last 13 games.
The big hook at Kenny Reagan's stick, it's huge, and that is something new. Kenny Reagan kind of has a newfound confidence in his ability to move the puck, but he put that big curve to the test a little too tough that time because he didn't even get it airborne. I think he was trying to lift it.
Yeah, get it over everybody's head, but it stayed right on the ice. An unassisted goal, obviously, for Renberg, getting his 10th of the year, so the rookie continues to produce, and we've got a 3-2 game with Pittsburgh's lead cut to 1. Brown taken out by Stevens. Shell Samuelson has it. Dumped it in the middle. Yager to Ulf Samuelson. Ulf not used to head manning the puck. Help me out here. Stevens does. Back for Ulf. Samuelson drops it wide side for Shell Samuelson. He goes back to Stevens, taken out of the play by Brown. Dave Brown rode him out. 3-2. Penguins on top. 14:46 left to go here in the second period. ESPN's National Hockey Night. Right back at you. We told you Renberg red hot scoring goals, and as a result now, goal-wise, he's only one behind Alexei Yashin of Ottawa, who has 11 goals. As far as points are concerned, that's an updated for you. Alexander Daigle of Ottawa, third with 19. Big threesome right now in rookies. Jim Pack.
The Flyers, when Renberg came to camp, he had 7 goals in 8 games, and they said, all right, Teemu Selanne has arrived. And then he went 1 goal in his first 7 regular season games. When the real thing started. It was tough. He's adjusted. I'll tell you one thing about Michael Renberg. He is competitive. He wants to excel. He does not sleep at night when he does not play well. He's one of those competitive guys that really puts his nose in there every game.
Jason Bowen had the big hit on the far side on Jaromir Jagr that time, took him down. Flynn was trying to get it out, can't. Came back to Bowen. Bowen again gets tangled up, takes a little stick for his work. 1-on-1 the other way. Recchi trying to tie it. Shot was blocked by Jim Pack. Far side tipped in Francis. Francis clears it around near side for Mullen. 3-2. Pittsburgh on top. Did have a 2-goal lead. Marty McSorley working in a forward position on regular shifts. Jim Pack will start it up ice. Pack sends it wide side. Pittsburgh on the offense and changing. Mullen pass deflected. Loose in front. Brendamore cleared it up. Larry Murphy able to hold it in. Centering pass. McSorley tried to take the shot, and the stick went flying of Brendamore instead of the puck. The Flyers able to work at 3. Chris Winnes. Winnes sends it in. Reggett going back, only partially blocked it. Baranek dropped it. Too far behind for anybody. McSorley picks it up. Marty McSorley starts the rush again. He's out there right now with Naslund on the left. McSorley muscled it. Murphy shot. Save. Rebound. Loose in front. No penalty. And what a jam up in front of the net as Yuskevich gave a big shove to Naslund. 2-on-1. Brendamore lost it. Shot deflected wide into the corner by Baranek. Baranek trying to center and Murphy blocked it. McSorley can't get it out. Gary Galley. Galley shot. Brendamore blocked. Score! Game is tied as they kept at it and Baranek put it in. And it's a 3-3 game. Players were tied up with the far boards in a big huddle as Conroy was arguing with Marty McSorley after he got decked.
Did Conroy ever get McSorley? And I think he was getting him back because Tommy Soderstrom was completely flattened by McSorley at the Flyers' end of the ice. But while all of that was going on, the Flyers have tied this game. Yeah, simple way to play against the Penguins. Don't play in your own end. And the Flyers haven't had to defend much on the rush. You can see Al Conroy getting all kinds of congratulations because he really took Marty McSorley hard into the boards. McSorley got up and it looked like he wanted him. Conroy is 5'6" max. And Marty McSorley is 6'3", 235 pounds.
Loves to get his nose dirty, does Conroy. 3-3 game, just like that. The 2-goal lead is gone. Baranek putting it in to tie it up. Comes around near side. Philadelphia's got a 3-on-2 chance. Recchi brings it up. Eklund in the middle. Recchi! And that was deflected off the end of the stick of Ken Reggett. Recchi trying to hold it in. Daz. Pelle Eklund working near side. Fedek. Fedek the shot. Oh, Samuelson went down and blocked it. Eklund gives a little shove from behind. The puck, though, Pittsburgh not having any luck getting it out of the zone. Deflects to center. McGill. Pittsburgh trying to regroup defensively now as this is a 3-3 game. They had a 3-1 lead moments ago. Fedek cutting to the net. Eklund taken out by Samuelson. Behind the net, couldn't be played by Fedek. McGill moves up to hold it in and does. Samuelson can't get it away. In front. Oh, Fedek open. Couldn't get the shot. Shot by McGill deflected into the corner. And Kevin Stevens over to get it. Wide open hockey here offensively. Straka trying to move it in down the right wing side. Tip to center. Stevens battling. Falls down. Puck is underneath him and he'll take the whistle. Game tied at 3-3.
Assisted by number 17.
Marty McSorley. Take a listen. That's as hard as McSorley has gotten knocked out in a while.
He did not expect that at all, and Al Conroy with a clean hit just laid him out.
The tying goal by Baranek, his 16th of the year, came from Brendamore and Galley at 7:02. And Baranek continues his unbelievable season as he continues to post huge and important numbers. He was 4th in goals starting the day and 19th overall in scoring. Mullen has it at center. Mullen ahead for Yager. 3-3 game with 11:37 to go in the second period. Has been dominated by Pittsburgh at one point. Now Philadelphia is taking the offense over. Mullen getting hit from behind and pinned up by Butsayev, and there it will be whistled for the faceoff.
All the Flyers did is stop making big mistakes. It's constantly a game of mistakes. The Flyers made so many of them in the first period, you couldn't count them all. So they come out of the second period, settle down a little bit defensively, and right away they start taking it to the Penguins. The Penguins are the ones that made the mistakes that led to the last 2 goals. Kenny Reagan cost him himself really on the second goal. And the Penguins had the puck until Al Conroy banged Marty McSorley off it in the third one.
Created the offense for them. Renberg sends it in. Back to get it is Jaromir Jagr. Jagr, Renberg had him lined up. Jagr saw it coming and spun away. Pat Neaton, the 22-year-old for Pittsburgh, cleared it out. Mullen's got it. Joey Mullen bringing it in. Dropped it. Shot. Save made on the shot by Jim Pack. Tommy Soderstrom hangs on. Hall of Fame night tonight in Toronto. We don't want to let it go by without congratulating those being inducted tonight. Guy Lapointe, Steve Shutt, and Billy Smith, the players. Lapointe with Montreal. Shutt there as well. Billy Smith, of course, the Island Rangers back in the 45 through 55 seasons. John D'Amico, the referee linesman. The Builders category, Seymour Knox of Buffalo. Fred Griffiths of Vancouver. Fred Page, the Canadian Amateur Association. And Al Strachan, the great writer with the Globe and Mail, going in on the media side. Congratulations to all of them. The big supper at the Hall of Fame in Toronto tonight. Great honor for them all. There's veteran Dave Tippett waiting as we get a little ice work being done with 11:08 left to go here in the second period. Tippett will move in to take the face-off against Francis. Shots are even at 16-16 now, as is the score. First game of the season. These two teams met in Philadelphia, and it was won there 4-3 by the Flyers.
Well, the first confrontation between official and player, really, Dave Tippett thrown out of the faceoff circle on that draw. He cheated a couple of times, and that was too often.
Francis did not win that one from Recchi, who got it back for Gary Galley. Hit by Neaton on Tippett, has cleared the zone. Jim Pack goes back in his own end. Pack spun around as he got double teamed. Francis comes in to help out. Ron Francis ahead for Yager. Yager near side for Mullen. Mullen moving in on Yuskevich. Mullen drops it off. Shot Francis. Deflected wide into the corner. Hit Tippett on that shot. Comes to the near side. There's a little more defense being played both ways now. Winnes clears it out. Goes to the middle with Recchi on the right. Recchi again with that head fake. Moved it into the corner.
That time he went to the inside, though.
Which is what he hadn't done the last time. Francis along the boards. Help from Pack to get it out. Yuskevich back. Philadelphia clearing their offensive zone. Chris Winnes brings it in. Winnes on the right side. Recchi. Winnes in front of the net, but Jim Pack denies him the opportunity to pass. The jam up in the corner. Pucks against the boards, and again they'll whistle it. 10:16 to go. Second period for Pittsburgh. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. Great to have you with us.